Hey everybody, David Brody here, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the Brody File crew on the road. Just got done with an interview with Marco Rubio. He talked about everything under the sun with us: immigration, Islam, Syrian refugees, Ted Cruz, and also Judeo-Christian principles and the slide of those principles here in America, specifically as it relates to same-sex marriage, is something we discussed right here. Have a look. On same-sex marriage, after the Supreme Court rule, obviously you were against the decision, but I believe, and I might be paraphrasing, but you pretty much considered it, well, it's settled law, or I don't know if those were exactly your words, but it was settled law in your mind. There are a lot of folks that believe they want to fight this, that they don't think that it's settled law, and they believe that the Supreme Court has erred in this, just like Dred Scott and some other
So it is current law.
before.
It is not settled law. No law is settled. Roe v. Wade is current law, but it doesn't mean that we don't continue to aspire to fix it because we think it's wrong. And in the interim, until we can get a Supreme Court to overturn Roe versus Wade, we do everything possible within the constraints that it's placed upon us to confront it and certainly limit the number of abortions and save as many lives as possible. I think that the broader question is, what is our role in terms of confronting it? And again, if you look at biblical lessons, the first thing is we are clearly called in the Bible to adhere to our civil authorities. But that conflicts with also a requirement to adhere to God's rules. Right. And so when those two come in conflict, God's rules always win. In essence, if we are ever ordered by a government authority to personally violate and sin, violate God's law and sin, if we're ordered to stop preaching the gospel, if we're ordered to perform a same-sex marriage as someone presiding over it, we are called to ignore that. We cannot abide by that because government is compelling us to sin.
That's what Kim Davis did.
Right. So in the absence of that, however, then it depends on what kind of society you live in. If you live in a society where the government creates an avenue and a way for you to peacefully change the law, then you're called to participate in that process, to try to change it. Not ignoring it, but trying to change the law. And so, and that's what we're endeavoring to do here. And I continue to believe that marriage law should be between one man and one woman, and that the proper place for that to be defined is at the state level, where marriage has always been regulated, not by the U.S. Supreme Court and not by the federal government.
Marco Rubio here on the Brody File. Look, a lot more from that interview and a lot of exclusive video. Wait till you see what we've got in store. It's all coming next week, the week after Thanksgiving. We can't bombard you this week. Why? It's family, it's turkey, it's football, it's rest. You got to be with your family. We will bombard you next week on the 700 Club, on the Brody File, all of this in its entirety, or at least most of it, airing. See you then.